Hi there, Dr. Vicki Lemper here with the Shift Happens channel. Today, we're going to talk about expectations and how that plays into our manifesting journey. So often we think expectations should be lofty, right? And they can be. However, when expectations begin to develop disruptions within ourselves, not making us feel so good, we need to revisit them and understand how expectations can actually make us feel good and allow us to accept our journey onto this road of discovering and manifesting everything we desire. Before that, let's go ahead and like, share, and comment if you enjoy my content and you enjoy learning how to manifest simply and ease and fun, right? If you need help on this journey, I am there for you also at shifthappenslifecoaching at gmail.com. All right, let's get into it. Expectations. We have a desire, we ask for it, and then we just throw it up there and be like, okay, now the great way is to like accept it and allow it, but the allowance is when we get all kind of crazy because we get in front of ourselves and we get too much into the human 3D piece and not so much in our mind as far as like imagination, and allowing our imagination to create and believing and trusting in faith in that imagination that it is going to create. The expectation can get confusing and can cause a lot of disruption when we are working from the 3D. So when we have an expectation, let's say we want either a specific person, or maybe we want an increase in our income. And you might even set a number. I want to earn an extra $10,000 a month. All right, this feels good. Lawofassumption says we can have whatever we desire, right? But then we start looking and we start going, well, I do know what I earn. I'm not so sure I'm going to get that. All of a sudden we start going logically, look at outside. And then all of a sudden you might even dig deeper about your limiting beliefs from your past. Well, money doesn't grow on trees. Or maybe it's with your SP and you're like, well, you better lower your level because I'm not so sure. That person seems a little out of your league. You don't make enough money. Maybe you're not skinny enough, young enough, whatever the thought is that you think that you're not enough. I just hit those things because a lot of people will come to me with age, health, as far as like whether they're in shape or not, the degree they have, the socioeconomic status, all of those outward things. And none of that matters, because when you are one with God, it is about love. And so that is the only expectation. When you start putting expectations out here, and you this is a great example. Expectation for texting or a phone call, right? Did they call me? How long did they take to text me? When you start having that expectation, that is based in manipulation. When you send a text, make sure that you play the real out. Okay? So, for example, let's say your SP texted you, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, should I text back? And let's say the SP texted something kind of not so nice. And then you play the real out. What do I mean by that? If I text, what is my expectation for that text? What do I expect it to come back? And can I accept it? If it doesn't come back, or if they say something that is not so nice, can I accept that? And am I okay? What is your purpose for that text? What's your expectation? And if you can't handle the expectation, if you can't handle them saying something or not saying something, or just giving you unwanted circumstances, then don't send the text. Do not call them. Do not interact with them. Play the real out. If you play the real out and you can accept the expectation that you are just going to text for the absolute love and purity in your heart with zero expectation. You don't expect them to text. You don't expect them to call. You don't expect emojis. You don't expect anything. You are just simply putting it out there like, hey, just thinking of you. That is the only expectation is no expectation, right? It's manifesting 101. You have an expectation, but then you get into a place where you're okay whether or not it happens or not. That's when you need to text. You don't text when you're in a panic or you are angry or you expect something in return. Play the reel through. If you get a text and you say, oh gosh, what should I say? Ask yourself, what are you okay with their response? Are you okay with them not responding? How are they going to respond? Whatever. Does that make sense? So expectations are, you just kind of have to play around and really be honest with yourself. And being honest with yourself, you don't have to admit it to people, but be honest with yourself. This is going to get you a lot further, a lot quicker when you are honest and say, I think if I send this text, I really do expect them to say it in a certain way. And sometimes when you're not honest with yourself, no, I really legit just am sending it because I really care about them. And then it comes back not so much like you thought it should. And then you're like, well, they didn't send it like that. And they should have done that. There's no shoulds. That's your expectation. There are so many storylines that you could put with it. And when you're angry or hurt, you're going to put some negative storylines with it. So again, all of this goes back to you, right? And this could be with a client, it could be with a sibling, it could be with a loved one, a romantic person. When you have expectations, careful, because it's really about you and what you are needing from them. It's just another piece of feedback. If you are honest with yourself, what do you need from them? I need attention. Oh, okay. So how am I going to give myself attention? Here's a great way to give yourself attention. Go in the bathroom, look at yourself in the mirror and say, man, you are fantastic. I just love you. You are looking good, Give that to yourself. See where that takes you. Or just stare at yourself in the mirror. Mirror work is phenomenal because it is, again, giving you feedback. The mirror doesn't lie, right? If you can look at yourself in the eye and say, man, I love you, that's the only expectation you should have is giving it right back to yourself. So stop putting expectations on other people and start expecting yourself to accept yourself as that beautiful, wonderful person aligned and one with your source, God's source, right? I know those expectations, they can really mess with you. But if you just embrace them and be honest and say, what do I expect from this? That plus that one expectation is one in infinite possibilities. Something might come back even better. You got to have faith and trust in the process. The process is going back inside of you with your imagination and feeling it and being it, being the person that needs that expectation, that doesn't care about whether or not it comes back with a great text or a heart emoji. Come on, seriously. In fact, my next video, I'm going to give you the most powerful 2 words you could ever say to yourself. It's the best affirmation ever, and you would not guess what it is. All right, until next time, take care. Bye-bye.